yes, it's time for some MCOC news. And yeah, I've spliced together the old intro, as my good man Frojo34 said. You know, just use your old intro. Yeah, probably best to do that. But I am designing a new one at the weekend. Got to get my real life work out of the way, and then just get into it and make a new one, because a lot of people in the comment section have been moaning about the fact that it is old. So yeah, it is old. So I'm kind of gonna put it with this new kind of fancy stuff. Looks like I'm caressing my S at the moment, so that sounds wrong. So I'm gonna shut up now. Let's just get into the news, because there's lots of shit to deal with. Now the first story is the arena this Thursday. I'm gonna be just so raging if Abomination goes for anything around the 2 mil mark. I just don't know why. Why? It's just going to happen. It's going to happen that the featured is going to go for a lot less than the basic. And a lot of people have been putting their kind of cut-off predictions. And this is the biggest problem when we go to such a kind of god tier or kind of high level champion like Iceman, a character that is beloved by so many for abilities, immunities, and so many things in between, that we're going to put a high cutoff, and people are going between 5.8 mil and 7 mil. It's so difficult to kind of pinpoint what is correct, and I don't want to hold myself to giving that instruction, because it's not fair for anyone in the community to be able to kind of like lose their weekend grinding this out. I've still got to make a decision. I think I've got 24 hours to make a decision whether or not I'm going to waste my weekend. So do I want to make any kind of further advancement in my content, or do I want to spend all that time grinding out Iceman? And I'm really on the fence with it. If I did it once, it would mean that I would use my awakening gem to then awaken him when it comes to Sunday. If I was to grind him out, I can grind him out, but like I said, I don't want to lose my weekend. I think a lot of people don't really want to lose their weekend, so that's an issue. That's the thing. Good luck to anybody that's kind of going into it, and hopefully it is a lot lower than 7 mil, because it's just so ridiculous. Our second story is all about the hotfix. Now, a lot of people have said that since the hotfix was put in, they have experienced some issues. A lot of people have said that a lot of things have been resolved, but it really is up to the player's perspective. And let them know in the forum if there is something continuing on, if they're having an issue with the special, because they do promise that after activating a special, attack can be interrupted by a player or the opponent, resulting in the special attack being cancelled while the power required is being used. Now, if these kind of like small little micro issues with regards to your kind of playing just experience is just cut, then it's not fun for people. And when you stop having fun with the game, then the game doesn't become enjoyable anymore. So make sure people know if there are kind of reoccurring issues when it comes to your attacking, your gameplay, your specials, any little thing with that since the update. Let them know in the forum. Next story is all about the New York Comic Con. Yes, New York Comic Con is here. It's upon us, and obviously it is running tomorrow, so the 5th of October to the 8th of October. So lots are going on there, and obviously there's the Marvel Contest of Champions booth. There's loads of MCC YouTubers coming out that I'm not going out there, unfortunately. Plans are maybe to go out next year. We're just kind of like doing some budgeting at the moment. Hopefully there is an opportunity to do that. I'm sure it'll be fine. But hey, it's all good. You got loads of decent YouTubers going out there, so do look to hang out with them, get your pitch taken with them. We've got the Analyzer. He's going out there. He's going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway. Seaton, Dork Lessons. We've got the lovely and beautiful ladies of the MCC YouTubers. We've got Queen of Pawns, and we've got Arbitrarium going out there. We've also got Killer. We've got Legacy, Blackened. I think there's some other ones going out there as well. So do look to kind of like hang out with them, take a picture with them, say hey, and go up to Dave and say yo yo yo. Because that guy is amazing. He's leaving his poor little daughter, I think. I don't know if he's going alone, but yeah. Anyway, I'll ramble on. New York Comic Con is going to be great. Hang out with these lovely people, and obviously look to this opportunity if you go in there, maybe to talk to the developers and just say, look, you know, guys, honestly, what is going on with the game? Have you got like a good vision for it? And as well, you know, what's your kind of like take on a few things? So it's just really important to just kind of get those questions out to them and get more of a kind of a personal response. Because the forums sometimes are just like so, you know, they have to kind of like talk in a certain manner, and sometimes it can feel like not very kind of personalized. So yeah, talk to them by all means. I think that'd be a good idea. And obviously the competition for Morningstar is going to be there for a 5-star Morningstar. Yeah, go for it. That's going to be a cool competition to enter. So our MCOC breaking news is that we have got a compensation package for the recent updates that haven't really gone so well. A lot of people are very mixed about this. It's 2,500 5-star shards. Now for me, I've just hit 15,000, so this puts me up to about 17,500, which, you know, is getting, well, I do have enough to do that blade crystal opening I've been talking about, and obviously that's not going to be this week, it's going to be in a couple of weeks time. Can I get up to a second one? Very hard to kind of like say yay or nay. I'll have to do some budgeting, I think, for that, just to see if I'm going to get there. But yeah, 2,500 5-star shards. And obviously people's response to this, they have been quite vocal about this not being enough. So that is something that we really have to talk about. People will be preferring rank up materials. So there's a lot of kind of like mixed feeling on this. The link is in the description for this post. And I think that's the question to you guys, like, should we be compensated this amount? Should we be compensated something else? As in, when I'm saying amount, I'm like, should we be given more 5-star shards? Like, what is everybody's thoughts on this? You can put it on the forum, you can put it in the comments section, you can go nuts with this, but really it is up to the perspective of the player. Like, how much do you feel that you have put in and lost, units wise, revive wise, health potion wise, whatever, to what you get back from this kind of like update not being so great. So yeah, thoughts, go over to you. And obviously we're still pushing in this next story for this Incinerate Immunity thing, and yeah, I'm a bit annoyed obviously that we haven't seen kind of a great overhaul with certain things. Ghost Rider, Dormammu, and Luke Cage with regards to Incinerate Immunity. And this is something that, you know, I have talked about in previous MCC news. It's still quite good to see people re-suggesting it again, and I really hope that happens. I know a lot of people kind of like don't understand the concept behind Iceman being Incinerate Immune. It really goes to the fact that he is an Omega level mutant, and we've actually talked about it. So I did like a scientific kind of way of kind of looking at like the extent of heat that would have to be generated in order to melt Iceman is actually so significant. It's pretty pointless to then putting him against the scale of, say, certain characters and like is it Sunspot, it's a Pyro, and Human Torch, that they wouldn't even come close to melting him based on certain type of heat that would have to get to, or Fahrenheit or whatever it is. There's kind of like I said, lots of scientific kind of aspect to it, but yes, Iceman, technically, because he's an Omega level mutant and the powers that he's able to channel in his ice abilities mean that he cannot be melted. So yes, there's a good shout that why he is the level he is with regards to his immunities and what kind of state he can get and form he can get into with regards to his ice. But it would be nice to see a lot of this being transferred over to other champions. Dormammu, yes, okay, in the story that I've been putting him after contest of champions, he's become more of matter, which means that technically he can be, well, melted, it seems. So that's annoying, but hopefully, like I said, there could be changes afoot if we keep pushing this in the future. So our final bit of community news is that this post by McCulloch is getting a little bit of traction now, and it's all about like Heroes Kabam, it's time. And it kind of really cites a lot of his kind of play through the game of the last 2 years, and the fact that regardless of certain content which he doesn't really believe in, or kind of non-improvements in certain areas, and after the version 12 kind of issues, that well, what his thoughts are with regards to his spending of money, and the fact that the game has for him become very kind of samey. It's not progressed on any further. The problem I think I find this is kind of like there's two ways of looking at this. The first thing is, yes, I can see his frustrations. I can see he's incredibly frustrated with the fact that the game hasn't kind of advanced in certain ways and hasn't got like added elements to it, where say other games similar to this kind of it's like free to play, kind of like pay to play type games, which are very common in the industry, have you know, there's not loads of different kind of mini games with it and stuff like it's different, or kind of like progressional content. And likewise, there's the other aspect to it that you have to really set your own goals. And if you're a kind of person who's kind of bought all your way through to kind of then do everything in the game, then what are your further goals? Like, what do you further set yourself? And I think that's the kind of like the argument between yes, if you kind of like if you go too hard on the game and you kind of blast it through, you will get bored at the end of it. Especially if you kind of spent all that money, you kind of go like, well, what do I really get out of this? It's kind of the same thing we're saying. Why is there any point of buying into a game like this if we're going to say at the end of it, well, I don't feel I got anything back from it. Should I get privileges? And the other aspect is that if you're doing free to play and you eventually get to the end of it, you know, well, what do you do? And I think that's the thing about then setting different goals and taking things at your own pace. And at the same time, should you put a lot of money in, or should you just occasionally buy if you wanted to buy with your expendable income? The next thing is like people's ownership, how much they feel owned to this game. Like, you know, why do we pick it up every day to play? It's a very interesting kind of argument and also an incredible point, but it's a talking point. He wants to stress that it's a talking point. And there's a lot of things to kind of like really raise with this. A lot of people have some very interesting and varied topics to kind of raise within this, and it's varied. People talking about Alliance Wars matchmaking, they're talking about so many different things after 12.0. so yeah, give it a good old read, because it's very interesting, and weigh in if you feel like it, and it's definitely got a lot of traction, so it's good to see a nice dialogue with this. So guys, that has been MCC News. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe as well for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been Rich the Man. You can follow me on social media, links which will be popping up here. And obviously, if you want to weigh in on these articles that we discussed, then description will take you to the forum. Obviously, if you want to leave a comment about some of the things we discussed, then please do. And yeah, other weekend I'll get that new intro out to you. So MCC News next week will probably be back to normal, and maybe even a newer kind of like look to it. But I've got some big plans that I need to sort out with the MCC News in the future. So yeah, all I can really say is give support to these MCC YouTubers at New York Comic Con if you're there, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Don't forget as well, I will be live streaming some stuff over the weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.